10-1, you need to know how to find 6 different things. You need to find the axis of symmetry. You need to find the vertex of a parabola. We're talking about parabolas here. You need to tell me if it opens upward or downward. You need to give me the minimum or maximum value. So you need to put min equals this, max equals that. And then you have to give me the domain and range. Which domain, sorry, domain is always going to be any real number. And then the range is going to be something specific, and then X-intercepts.
For the range, isn't it y? Y sub y is like, and then isn't it your in the vertex? Isn't it your second?
Okay, what I was going to ask now, you actually bring us to a good point. Which one of these values is the most useful to get? Which one of these out of all these?
The vertex.
Your vertex is the most useful, and the reason why? Well, how do you write your axis of symmetry? You have to write x equals something. X equals whatever, and that comes from the vertex, okay? The minimum or maximum also comes from your, it's the y value on the vertex. Your domain, we already know what that is. Your range comes from the vertex. So all 3 of those come from that vertex. Opens upward or downward, that I hope you can get very quickly. And then your x-intercepts are not too bad. I hope. Yeah, I'm going to give you one on 249. I want you to look at number 10. And I want you to get me those 6 things. Yes,
For the
ma'am.
X-intercept, is it the one where the line or the parabola is on the X?
Yeah, it's where my parabola touches the x-axis.
Okay.
And it might touch it 1 time, 2 times, or no times.
Is your axis of symmetry just
It's where you cut that parabola in half.
on the x?
So yes, and it's going to be that green line. You see that green line in the book?
But it's on the x-axis. Yeah.
Yes.
It's not like
Yeah.
above it. Well, couldn't it be above it?
So axis of symmetry on like that one, it's going to be x equals something. X equals, where's that green line hit the x-axis? And you can look at that graph. Ma'am?
Do you want us to like just read off the graph sheets, or?
Yeah, read it off the graph. You're going to have to be able to read it off the graph and do it on your own without a graph, which we'll do 10-2.
Do we need to solve because it says f of x equals negative x squared plus 8x minus 15? Do you need to make it into a positive 8?
No. You just look at the graph to get all those pieces. Like you can look at the vertex. Where's the high point on that?
And then
All those other parts, same
find out
thing.
the y for the vertex, don't we put it back into the equation? Or do we need
That's
to
if you're graphing it all by yourself.
Do you know whether it's greater than or less than, or less than or equal?
If it opens downward, it's less than or equal to. Upward, greater than or equal to. Yes, sir? Yes. 6 problems. And it's reviewing what we're going to review in class, so hopefully it'll be fresh in your mind. Okay. Who can give me the vertex? Jake, can you give me the vertex? Of number 10.
It's 4.
Yeah, it's an ordered pair. It's 4, 1. So that's your vertex. And from there we can get 3 other pieces of info. What's the axis of symmetry, Josh? X equals, and I want you guys to put x equals 4. That's your axis of symmetry, or your line of symmetry. Braden, does it open upward or downward?
downward?
Yep, and you can just look at it and say it opens downward. How else can you know that it opens downward?
It has a max.
Okay, it has a max, you can say.
Lead coefficient.
Yeah, what's the lead coefficient of the equation right by it? It's -1, so it's downward. All right, does it have a minimum or maximum, Callie? And what is it? Maximum of? What's the value? I think you said it. The maximum value is 1. So it's the y value on the vertex. What is the domain, Elizabeth? Any real number. So it's always the domain, any real number. I'll abbreviate here for space. And then what's the range, Chelsea?
Y for numbers such that y is less than or equal to 1.
That 1 came from the vertex. And then what are the x-intercepts, Parker?
You mean the ones they are 3 and 5.
Say that again?
3 and 5.
Yeah, the x-intercepts?
Yeah.
Or 3 and 5?
You said y, I was correct.
Oh, sorry if I said y. I apologize. You just put 3 and 5. Some of you on your quiz did something really cool. I thought it was cool because I didn't tell you how to. You put this for your x-intercepts. And that is perfectly okay. That's actually very accurate. All right, how many of you got all 6 of those parts? 6, technically 7 maybe. Okay. Do you guys know how to get it just by looking at the graph?
I don't understand how you get the range.
Someone explain that to me. How do we get that range?
Hey, that was the number 9 on our quiz, the one that we just did.
Mr. A, whoa, Jesus.
Okay.
So we can just look at
Not my quiz, Sarah. It's not my quiz, is it?
Yeah, it's number 9.
Yours.
So your questions aren't even original?
They're not original.
That's copy.
Unless I ask for permission, which they gave already.
They gave you
Are you sure?
Yeah, as a teacher, I get permission to this. As long as I don't sell it, which, Sarah, I'll give it back your money on that one. I'm sorry. Okay,
Well, technically we didn't pay for the education.
all right, anyway. So what you guys want to do is you want to be able to look at a graph and figure out those parts, okay? But I want you to do it for look at number 6. All I want you to tell me right now is, does number 6 open upward or downward? So that's all you have to do for that one.
Like 6 on 2 circles.
Same page.
Upward.
Yeah, just write upward or downward. You don't have to explain, but you do need to figure something out first, because you can't just say upward or downward just by looking at it. Okay, you could do that, but if you don't show your proof on the test, it might not go well. I know, it's awful. Number 6.
Non-standard.
Okay, Parker, is this in standard form?
No.
So how do I get in standard form, Annie?
I subtracted y from both sides and then subtracted y from both sides and subtracted 3 from both sides.
And then what else did you do? So you got negative y over there and 2 over here. Then what else?
And I multiplied by negative.
Okay,
3.
so you should have ended up with y equals negative 2x squared minus 2. Okay, did you guys end up with that in standard form? Because from there, now you can get the opens upward or downward. Laura? Which one? Downward or upward?
Downward.
Downward. How do I know it's downward, Molly?
Because it's negative.
Negative what?
A.
Yeah, the a value right here is negative, so that tells me it opens downward. Okay, I want you guys to tell me all 6 parts from the last problem on this problem right here. But you don't have a graph. Make a graph. Oh, it's time to make a graph on this one right here. Y equals, we'll do this one together, negative 2x squared minus 2. Okay, so this is moving into 10-2 because I think 10-1 you guys pretty much get. What's our first step in getting a graph? Get the axis of symmetry. That's my first thing. You okay, Sarah?
Yes, I'm tired.
Okay, get the axis of symmetry. Do you remember how to find the axis of symmetry with just the equation? Negative b over
2A.
2a. And do you remember where that comes from now?
The quadratic formula.
comes from that quadratic formula, and this is in the quadratic formula. So if you memorize the quadratic, you got that axis of symmetry. What's the opposite of B? Okay, is there a B number up here? Yeah, what is it? It's 0. It's the number in front of x. You're like, there is no x. Yeah, it's 0. So opposite of B is 0 over 2a. So it's 0 over negative 4, excuse me. So you get axis of symmetry, x equals 0. You got to say x equals 0. That's your axis of symmetry. Number 2, what do you find out next? The vertex. And how in the world am I going to find the vertex, which is an ordered pair?
Don't you put the x values back into the equation?
Yep, put this back into that equation, so you get y equals negative 2 times 0 squared minus 2. And solve for that to get y. What's 0 squared? 0 times negative 2? 0 minus 2? What should you get when you solve for y? You should get negative 2. So what's your ordered pair? 0, negative 2. That's your vertex. Third step is to find... Yes, let me get this last... Find what? 2... Just 2 points. Just any 2 points. And remember how you determine them? You use this number, go 1 above it, or 2 below it, or 2 above, 1 below. It doesn't matter, but you don't get 0 this time because they took it. Yeah.
When you're putting it back into the equation, do you multiply it by the exponent first, or do you multiply it
Okay,
by...
good question. Like, do you do this first, or do you do that first? Always do this first.
Okay.
Remember PEMDAS? PEMDAS? You got it, yeah. You do exponents first.
So then it would be...
PEMDAS, like Hagen-Dazs. PEMDAS.
What'd you say, Meg?
What? Do you know what it is? Hagen-Dazs? It's the ice cream? Well, it's Hagen-Dazs. That's how you say Hagen-Dazs. But those 2 dots makes it that Daz, and so PEMDAS should have those 2 days, but those 2 dots, but it doesn't. Say that again?
It doesn't have a V in it. It doesn't be him dad either. It's like some dog.
Cages.
So we're okay saying PEMDAS, PEMDAS? Is that, I don't know. Okay, anyway, sorry. The debate rages on. Did you have a question? Oh, that's what you're saying. Gotcha. Now I get you, Sarah. It's too late in Tuesday afternoon. Did you have a question, Jack? I thought I saw it. Okay. Pick 2 points. Which ones are you going to pick? I would go negative 2 is fine, but then maybe 1. Yeah, negative 2 and 1, because if you do negative 2 and positive 2, you'll get 2 points that are symmetrical, and you won't get another set. So you got to put that back into that equation. I'll do that very small. Negative 1 and positive 2, yes.
But you're not going to get this.
You will get 2 different points, but they should still form the same parabola, which is nice. So one ordered pair should be, from what we got, negative 2, negative 10. You get and check it because that could be off, which I've been off before. Oh yeah, what'd you get?
Well, I did 2,
Positive 2? Mm-hmm.
negative 1, I got 2, negative 2.
Oh, and see, okay, can I show you what happened here? So, no. Negative 2, negative 10 would be down here somewhere, right? And then positive 2, positive 10 would be right there. You see how they're symmetrical? Because the axis of symmetry is right there, so they're 2 away, 2 away. So you see how it works? If I use negative 2 and 2, I would have gotten those 2 points, but then I don't get any others, so I need to get something different, which is why I picked 1 for this case. I'm going to squeeze this in here, guys.
How'd you get negative 2?
I don't know right now. Sorry. I just need to write this down. Okay, sorry, Bella?
That I got.
Did I answer the question without even knowing what it was?
page
Where'd you
left
get
hand chapter.
negative 10 from?
Wait,
Okay, I worked that out and I got negative. Okay, I see now.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, me too. I'm confused. What's up?
Well, like, you have the vertex and everything, and then where did you get all these extra numbers? Like,
We made them.
okay.
Thank you. That answers my question. Okay, so you could put these on a graph, but all you would have is this basically. You would have the axis of symmetry, and you'd have a point right here. Is that enough to give you a parabola?
No.
No, so you need some other points. So you do technically, you're not randomly picking, but you need to pick two other x values. So we picked -2 and 1. How many of you picked +2 and -1? Okay, so you just pick two other points. When you put that point into the equation, you get another ordered pair, -2, -10. And then you pick that one, 1, -4. So you see I have those 2 points, pretty random, right? But if I do the symmetrical property there, ooh, what a baby graph, but a nice one. That's what you should get. How many of you got that graph? Is that a baby graph for me, you guys? Or, oh, this is what I did.
It's like Naomi, it's a baby.
Actually, speaking of my children,
Oh, dude.
no, my wife sent me a picture of Titus. And this is I got to give you a background to it before I show it to you. And the only way I can show it to you is if you get the next problem right. So, you know those carriers? You ever see like moms with a carrier and a baby's like stuck to them basically?
Like
Okay.
on your back, like a back.
Or back, or yeah, in the front. So Naomi goes in that like nothing, but then Titus wanted to go in it. So he's in it, and he's like this 35-pound piece of human on my wife. Not you can just tell he's a big guy. Okay. Piece of human. Piece of my blood. Which I love him very much, but he's big. Okay. Go to page 2. Oh, time out. We didn't even get everything here. This is your graph. All right. Last thing.
we need a graph lab?
Yes, and this is my graph. Oh, someone taught me something.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I know, tell me about
That's
it.
the question.
Bending the walls of
T-pose.
physics.
It's a T-pose.
Who did it? Oh, yes.
Whoa.
It's a human with a tail.
Oh, that's pretty lit, man.
That looks bad. Okay, anyway.
Fine, the way you put like three on. Whoa.
Bye-bye. Okay, so that's the graph. I just drew it really small, but what's my axis of symmetry?
Negative
X equals 0. What's the vertex?
0.
What, does it open upward or downward? Downward. Does it have a minimum or maximum? Maximum value of -2.
Why is it -2?
Because that's the highest y value I can get. -2. That's the highest it can go. It goes right there. It doesn't go higher.
Wait, so if you're going for minimum and maximum, you want to see if it's the minimum of y value and
The minimum y value or the maximum y value, and you're like, how do you know which one which? Well, does it open downward? It has a max. Or does it open upward? It has a minimum. What are the x-intercepts?
-2
Done. They don't have
Yeah, 1 and -2.
No x-intercepts. It never crosses the x-axis. Right? That's okay, but it never crosses that x-axis. Domain. Any real number. Range. Less than or equal to -2. Let me make sure I got it all. Okay. Let's go to the last lesson, and then I'll do the review game with you guys. Winners can see my son in HD glory.
You lied to us.
No, on the next problem, if you guys get, that's what I said, if you get the next problem right.
When you look at it, Cal.
Okay, let me give you a problem though. This is it. X squared minus 11x plus 30 equals 0. Okay, listen to me carefully. This is now 10-3. And if you look at the title 10-3, it says solve quadratic equations by factoring. So this is reviewing factoring that maybe you didn't get the first time. Factoring, completing the square quadratic equation. We're up here on factoring. So I look at this and my first question is, do I have a
common.
GCF. I do not have a GCF. So now I look at the lead coefficient, which is? So do I have to use the bridge? No, I would not use the bridge. I would use the lead coefficient of 1 method, which has to have a name.
Yeah. Do you want us to like
Well,
get the answers? Do we put it back in?
So in this problem, they didn't give you a y, so there's no ordered pair. You just need to give me, your final answer is going to be x equals something, and possibly x equals another thing. I don't know. Just depends.
Or no solution.
If it had a y here, then I need ordered pairs. So that's the difference. And that's one of them. Okay, I get x, and that. Anyone know those numbers? Sydney? What are the numbers that go here?
-6 and -5.
-6, -5. Listen to me carefully. If x minus 6 times x minus 5 equals 0, what do I know about x minus 6? It equals 0, or x minus 5 equals 0. So solve this equation, which is a one-step. X equals, that's one of my answers. That goes right there. And the other answer would be x equals, and that's my other answer. I can see that.
Can I see your child?
How many of you got that? Factoring. Okay. I will say solve by factoring. So what method do you use? Factoring.
Do you write it in order?
No. And they asked that question. There's no ordered pair because there's no y. There's no y up here. It's just x. Oh, big T. This is Titus, my second. He's in the carrier. My wife's back is hurting right now. You can see the pain.
Only show the first one.
What a little cute.
That's Titus.
We all have to say, Like, can I see it again, Mr. So I can make that really annoying noise everyone goes,
And Titus, like I said, he's my second. He's almost 2. And this dude weighs. Is that a yawn or a oh? Oh. All right. Okay, review game. Here's how we're going to split you guys up. How many of you, just a moment, I got to find out these answers. How many of you were born from January to July? Raise your hand if you were born January through July. All right, keep your hand up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh. How many of you were born January to June? So I'm taking July out. So I just want to see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Perfect. January through June. You're here. July through December. Here. You need your textbook, paper, and a pencil. Is your birthday soon? You're celebrating like it is.
I came over to like the end of September, something like that. Like, the 20%.
Oh, you're September?
Yeah. Mine's just favorite.
I'm 3rd.
Oh, yes. I'm not. My family's born in September. My cousin is born in September. And uncle's way before mine. 16 from that. Yeah.
I'm sitting right here.
The first group to be all seated will get 5 bonus points.
Sit down.
Tally.
All right. Yeah, that's pretty definitive. Sorry, it's you guys.
It's where they keeping us from sitting down. Yeah. Or hiding Max's stuff.
Yeah, boys, let him have his stuff. Oh, wait. Is he on your side?
No.
Jack, like just now,
Yeah, well, Jack is not weird stuff.
Don't hold this stuff.
That means that we are.
Now, are you guys holding them back? Because then I'll.
Actually, no.
You can't see, lol.
That's okay. All right. Let me just see here. Wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Somebody accidentally wrote this.
All right. Sorry. Who was born in? I'll go through the months here. Who was born in August? So someone from here. August. Okay. Who was born in September? Ooh. October. November. Oh wow, this is not working at all. December?
Oh, that's Thanksgiving.
Who's August? Who's December?
Jowsy.
6, 9, 11, 6, 7.
She's January.
She's December.
Are you what?
17th.
No, she's January.
She's December.
Are you January? Go. This solves that problem.
Oh, she is. She's Y'all are just
Her real birthday are not December. My real birthday is January 1st. 3rd.
You're away.
Max.
Wait, is that us?
Who knew that she was January?
I know.
She actually, but I said it. I didn't realize she was over there until you said something.
Snitch.
I really said
No. She did.
I keep my birthday.
Wait, Parker, did you know?
No.
No.
I don't know anything about any of the girls.
It's only.
They're not about going home. Come back.
Josh. Oh, except for no, don't put it on. That's so.
The game will never start. Okay, I gotta go. Bye, Sylvia.